Greetings everyone, and Great here with another Dawn of War 2 replay. Spawn on the bottom side as the Chaos Lord, we have Life. Spawning as the Apothecary, we have Dice Roll. Spawning as the Lictor Alpha, we have Fog, and as the Warlock, we have a foreign name. Let's see now, we've got Chaos Marines, another Heretic, pretty standard. Got Tactical Marines here, Termagants into Termagants. And we got Triple Guardian for the Warlock. Not going for any Howling Banshees, so let's look at for just some standard rifle, not necessarily riflemen, but whatever the weapons are called for the Eldari. Termagants pushing the way forward. We'll find the Space Marines and the Chaos Marines. Termagants are going to be falling back very early. These Termagants are making a retreat as well, unable to engage against multiple squads of Imperial Guards or Space Marines. All three Guardian squads make their way towards the center. We've got a Ritual here as well, which is going to allow the Chaos Lord to close the distance. Another Ritual pushes the way forward, so it's chain ritualing forward Heretics to Ritual speed run the Chaos Lord into combat. And all the Guardian squads are falling back nice and early. Look to Alphas in the Flurks flanking around, and great use of these rituals allow them to engage. Look to Alpha will be tying up one of these Chaos Marines in melee. Maybe he'll grab one of them as well. Got the Eternal War upgrade on one of the Chaos Marines, and now the Guardian Squad pushes the way forward against some good damage there on the Tactical Marines. This Heretic Squad now receives some fire from the Warlock, who's being upgraded with the Champion's Robes, and a fourth Guardian Squad has been floated out by the Eldari. The Warlock does go down to the Apothecary himself. Termagants now charging forward. The Chaos Lord's going to try and tie up in melee. The Apothecary is receiving quite a bit of fire there by the Guardians. All four Guardians in the center of the map. No additional Tactical Marines by the Apothecary either. Apothecary does go down. Lots of firepower coming on the Chaos Lord. With this many squads, he is hard to engage a lot of firepower. Heretic Squad trying to fall back as well. They will fall back in time. The Termagants are trying to say you're dead. Actually, the Heretic Squad does get fully wiped there. Very nice. Warrior Brood has been deployed on out. That's just a big spam of Guardians, that's for sure. He probably should not go for battle equipment upgrades unless he needs extra HP. But you got a Havoc Squad here, which will be very useful in dealing with all these Guardians. Heretic's coming to support as well. He will need to get this Heretic around for rituals. Does have the Grenade Launcher upgrade, which will be very useful in knocking back and supporting from range. It may be a good idea to get the Chain Axe upgrade, but even then, maybe Bloodletters with Teleport will be more useful at that point. The Warlock has been recovered by the Lictor Alpha. The Warlock is falling back now, severely wounded. Great jump there by the Assault Marines on top of the Termagants, I should say. Warrior Brood engaging the Assault Marines in melee. One of the Warrior Broods do go down, but there's still a lot of potential firepower from the 5 Guardian squads of the Warlocks. Termagants also getting engaged. Does get a pretty decent plasma grenade. Actually, that was his own plasma grenade, wasn't it? He annihilated his own force with that. Flamers on the Tactical Marines pushing the way forward. I would say that's pretty good, but there's probably just too many Guardians for him to deal with. This Guardian squad is now falling back as well. And he's getting actually combat equipment in some of these squads. Only one that does not have the combat equipment. He is running low on requisition, so the Guardians need to start salvaging or hunting down requisition points. And do have a webway assembly here with the support of these Termagants. Champion's Robe grants to absorb damage. Okay, that allows them to use the Energy's health ability. Also increases the Warlock's health by 150. So a very defensive Warlock, able to charge in forward and absorb shots for his Masked Guardian. Grenade Launcher Squad is falling back. No Aspiring Champion with him just yet. The Aspiring Champion, when upgrade on a Grenade Launcher Squad, does get a bolter.
Our allied soldiers died when we stand. The time for mercy is long past.
Grenades are raining on in, getting some good damage onto the shield generator, but here's some knockback grenades. Knocking back those Guardian squads, but there's still the two other Guardian squads. And Warlock's pushes way forward, getting some great damage from the power generator. Ritual has been activated there. Havoc is engaging as well. Another Havoc squad has been forward on out, trying to provide a lot of suppression against these forces, but the heavy cover here will give them good suppression resistance. This generator will go down. All the generators got smashed. Up north, we do have just Hormigons poking on the flanks, and we've got these tactical marines pushing the way forward, including a Devastator. Warlock has been upgraded to the Merciless Witchblade, which grants him an AoE ability around him. Guardians pushing the way forward, getting some good damage across the line. We have the Chaos Marines, of course, and the Heretics trying to engage, but with all the heavy cover in the region, they're not going to accomplish all too much. Combine Flamer has been researched and now using the Immolate ability. Good knockback there. And now the Apothecary and Assault Marines coming in for a pretty not really a sizable flank. Plasma Grenade there on the Apothecary, down half his health, but does force back all the Guardians thanks to the Assault Marines jumping on in. Looks like he did heal himself there with the Apothecary as these forces pushing the way forward. Not so sure what he's saying there. Where are the Electros forces doing gen bashing zones? There's a lot of gen bashing going down, and there's no generators here either. The Warlock simply cannot forward it because of all of the Guardians he has. And that will give him a lot of requisition bleed. We do have a Tyrant Guard now deployed on out. Devastator pushes his way forward, will suppress down the Warrior Brood. But the Tyrant Guard should be able to charge on forward and tie up the Devastator with melee. In the center, we do have all the Guardian squads pushing way forward. Does recover the Warlock. Does get knocked back there against Assault Marines. He does jump on top of one of the Guardians. Not really focusing down the Guardian squad. They're capturing a lot of points, so not a whole lot of damage actually coming out on the Assault Marines, but more grenades being launched by the Heretics. Because we got a sizable flank here involving the Heretics and Havoc. Warlock trying to tie up the Chaos Lord in melee, using the Immolate ability there, since the ability doesn't get tied up in melee. And great damage there onto the Heretic squad. Havoc is coming to retreat, getting some good AoE damage, and there's still this flanking Havoc getting some good suppression as well. This Havoc squad will need to reposition over here relatively soon. Also, you will get overran. The Havoc squad will need to fall back down to one last model. We've got a Blood Pressure being put out, which will be very effective versus the Guardians. Relatively rare asset nowadays. But it's going to be a very effective melee unit against the Guardians. They do get a pretty good sizable suppression there. We've got a Webway Gate in the mix of all of this. Hormigons pushing the way forward. We've got a Assault Marine jump there, knocking back the Hormigons as the Flamer squad was receiving quite a bit of fire themselves. Both the Apothecary nearby should be able to get some good health regen, but the Tyrant Guard just being a bit too problematic. At this point, the Chaos Lord needs to get the Armor and Inferno armor to let the Galaxy burn ability. Havoc has two models here. This Havoc has one model here and will get overwhelmed. And here comes a Blood Crusher. He can't get focused down by all the fire here, so it's not in a vulnerable unit. A demon, yes, but a vulnerable demon. Warrior Bird hasn't upgraded the anti-vehicle weapon, which is what the Tyranids need to engage that. Let's see now. We've got a second Blood Crush being deployed on out. At this point, I can't say no. We've got 2 Tired Guards on the field as well. Maybe get some Vanguard veterans and Stern Guard veterans. Dreadnought has been out and needs the Assault Cannon. He just straight up needs the Assault Cannon. Grenades raining on in.
Generator operation. Adding support structure.
And we got an auto cannon and a las cannon. The las cannon will be useful versus the hive tyrants. The auto cannon will be good against generally everything. And the immolate ability getting some great damage there, but the Chaos Lord does go down. But here comes the Blood Crushers versus hive tyrants. The Warrior Brood is still in the mix, and the auto cannon, las cannon haven't been set up properly either. The rituals can give the Blood Crushers more health regen. That Blood Crusher needs to fall back relatively soon. Now the autocannon is now being deployed now. The Warrior Broods are quite low themselves. The Blood Crushers now have a bit more room. He needs a ritual for that Blood Crusher. The Blood Crusher is about ready to go down. Still no ritual there. The Blood Crusher is charging on in, but the Tyrant Guard could just turn around and engage. But he's just trying to run away, which may not be a good idea. He's charging away, it looks like. Health regen of the Blood Crusher is doing some good work there. Capillary Tower is trying to interrupt. And Blood Crusher does go down there, but he may go down in return. He's severely wounded. Falcon sort of skirmishing around the line. Tyrant Guard is still quite wounded. Still not fully dead. Blood Crusher here is a little bit wounded as well. Looks like the Tyrant Guard here will manage to escape on out. Dreadnought has not been upgraded the Assault Cannon, and he does get a nice knockback there onto the Warlock, taking him out. And the Tyrant Guard does actually go down right there. Both the Havocs still alive. He still has the Heretics as well, but the Heretics are getting wiped out by the Hormigons, but managed to save it with the Blood Crusher. I would say the lack of a ritual from the Heretics that didn't heal up the Blood Crusher was a bit of a problem. Auto Cannon setting it up, so is the last cannon. The Falcon's almost down. The Falcon has not been up for the shield generator, but getting mass repaired. But likely the Dreadnought and the last cannon does take it out. Dreadnought's going to be charging forward, maybe get a good smash in the group, but does not. Bright Lance also deployed in the mix. It's sort of hard to see, but it's actually getting hits there on the Chaos Lord. Chaos Lord still has half his health remaining. And the Apothecary is still here as well. It's sort of hard to see. And the Chaos Lord does go down. Last cannon now set up a good position, and the Summery soon jump on in. We do have a Chaos Shard not being deployed now. All players are just eyeing for tier 2. Can you global revive? Not so sure what's going on. I must have missed something. But the Chaos Lord has been respawned. We do have the Capillary Tower going on down. The Guardian Squad's taking out the generator that was put out by the Apothecary. Looks like Jane Sealer's being deployed on Alpha to look to Alpha. It's been a while since we actually saw them look to Alpha. Both of the blue team's heroes are down. Blood Crusher has to be quite a bit of fire there. There's a Venom Brood here. The Blood Crusher does go down. Chaos Dreadnought's now making his advance, trying to get some good damage into this mix. The fight's bunched up. There's the two Venom Broods in that group. Sulcan has deployed an Alpha. The Dreadnought. This would be a great spot for a assault barrage. Does get a nice assault barrage there onto the Tyranid forces, getting some great damage on the retreat path as well. Synapse generator going down, so are the regular power generators. As this Termagon is capturing some more and more points. Over here we do have the Tactical Marines capturing the Central VP. All those generators will go down. Last cannon devs are capturing some points. Since there's no more Tyrant Guards, this is going to be just capturing points now. Grenades raining on in, knockback grenades. Large and miss, so does the Assault Marines. Assault Marines are now out of energy, but all those forces are now falling back. Venom Broods trying to make their advance, and the Termagants here do fall back, getting some great damage there with the Assault Barrage. Oh, Webway Gate, that's what's going on right there. He does manage to spawn out one squad of Guardians there. And he may get a shotgun blast, he may knock them back, does get a plasma grenade there, nuking his own squad. And the Guardian squad will likely go down. Apothecary has been upgraded with the Anointed Power Axe, which is an energy sapper. Now Noise Marines being deployed out, likely for the Blast Master.
As ever, we serve. We trust in your guidance.
A fresh Falcon. There is a Vanguard veteran squad now out in the field. No Stern Guard veterans just yet. And the Gene Stealers do fall back. And the War Brood does fall back as well. Over here, we've got these mass forces here, including both the Venom Brood. Does use Assault Barrage there. There's 3 Venom Broods in this region now. This one's making moving forward. Being suppressed by the Noise Marines. The Noise Marines not being upgraded to Blast Master. Chaos Lord's charging forward. There's some great potential here. The Venom Brood is going to be focused down the Chaos Dreadnought, and the autocannon have a squad pushed way forward. The Termagants are trying to tie them up melee. They are relatively successful, but they will get ripped apart by all these forces. Great knockback there by the Noise Marines. Allowing the Dreadnought to advance, as well as letting autocannon sit back up as well. Master Tree coming out now by the Tyranids. Mostly the Venom Broods will escape on out of there. Capillary Tower will be going down. It's relatively hard to see that one. Something about Tier 3, you do have some Wraith Guard being deployed on out. Wraith Guard, of course, is a very good AoE support weapon. And immediately inside the Webway Gate. No Blastmaster by the Noise Marines, which would be very effective against all the Guardians, as was the Venom Brood.
Send for the Warlock to lead our Guardians.
Looks like Warlock's on the Guardians. He needs a Warlock on the Wraith Guard. His forces starting to make their advance. Quite a bit of force there. Not a whole lot of anti... Nope, there's the last cannon there. So there is an adequate amount of anti-vehicle, which that last cannon... Oh, that's not the right last cannon. I'm not sure what I was thinking. Soul Marines do jump on forward, knocking back some of the Guardian squads there. The Wraith Guard do fall back. Global ability being activated here. Venom Brutes making a charge, getting some good damage there on the Dreadnought. Autocannon Havocs are set up as well. Not sure exactly what they're saying. Both of the Space Marines have been upgraded with Tier 3, while both the blue team has still on Tier 2, and they're pretty far away from getting Tier 3. Not a whole lot of red points here, but there is enough red points here for well, the Apothecary can blow out a nuke, while the Chaos Lord cannot. Bit of damage here, good AoE damage on those Guardian squads, and we've got something being called on there. This could be Terminators. Warlock is now falling on back. And these forces still quite grouped up, very vulnerable to an AoE. I'm guessing a Whirlwind wouldn't be half bad against these forces. Blastmaster wouldn't be half bad either, which we do not see either. 3 Venom Brood, Warrior Brood, and Genius Turtles making their advance along the left flank. They will need to rotate over. Our Vanguard veterans coming to respond to it. And now trying to repair up the Dreadnought. There's going to be one big engagement. It's likely going to be the last engagement. Tier 3 being researched by the Tyranids. He does not have enough for a Tyranna formation. While we do have a Guardian Swept team likely meant for a Bright Lance. Another Capillary Tower. And the Guardian Squad's pushing way forward. Another Capillary Tower is being deployed on now. Venom Bruce trying to engage the Dreadnought. Hitting the Assault Barrage being activated, but no, he does there's the Assault Barrage. Warrior Brood will be likely to wipe down this engagement. The Venom Brutes are not being able to finish up the Dreadnought. Great knockback there by the Vanguard Barons. Guardian Squad's charging forward. But you also got Chaos Terminators now in the mix as well, trying to tie up the Wraith Guard up in melee. They do load inside the Falcon to avoid some fire. Bright Lance unable to shoot any armored targets here. Dreadnought receiving some repairs. As these Dreadnought's forces and the Chaos Terminators push their way forward, and the regular Noise Marines getting some good work in as well, which will stop them from firing from these forces as well.
Engines ready.
Apothecary is leading the advance. The Stormguard veterans need a bit more energy as well. They can perhaps get one more jump off. Won't be able to get much more than that. Apothecary's falling back, being upgraded to combat stimulant equipment. As the Guardian Squad will get some free shots there onto the Vanguard veterans. Autocannon has been deployed on up, getting some great damage there, and actually takes out that Falcon quite easily. There was no last cannon there, so that autocannon got some really good hits there. Nope, the last cannon's right there. Never mind.
An ally has gained control of an entry.
Now we do have multiple shrines going up, which they do spawn bloodletters to engage the nearby advancing forces. So they are turrets, per se, loosely.
Our mission above all.
We have succeeded in our objective.
We have 200 points remaining.
They do not last very long, but they are free. Webway Gate trying to engage this force. The 2 shrines here can be supported by the Grenade Launcher Squad. They do have the Spiraling Champion as well. Here comes the grenades, knockback grenades as well. Here comes the Bloodletters, the free Bloodletters. This shrine will be cleaned on up, but the Bloodletters do exist afterwards. Both shrines have been cleaned on up, but you won't be able to capture the point. The Bloodletters do their job to hold the line, but the Galaxy Burn, which is utilized from there, a close range artillery barrage ability, Armor the Inferno. And they all withdraw to the Webway Gate, and he will go ahead and destroy the Webway Gate.
We must arm for even crueler warfare.
red team's just trying to hold off. Don't need to advance. Just try and play the waiting game.
The reinforcements are most welcome.
The Elected Alpha could deploy out a Swarm Lord, but maybe designed for a Carnifex. The AoE Carnifex wouldn't be half bad, I would say. Terminators with a Assault Cannon make their advance with the support of the Apothecary. There is a webway assembly over here, so it's quickly reinforcing the flank here. How many AoE weapons are in the region? Not enough red points for a nuke. Oh, that was way too early. I think he was expecting this some sort of camouflage unit, but there wasn't any. What are they exactly doing? Is the Space Marine player thinking that there's a camouflage unit there? All he needs to do is bring the scout in. But the sergeant has stealth spotting. He did not need to do that. Now he's wasted most of his energy and all of his cooldowns. But since they were so timid, they did not engage. Carnifex being deployed on out. The tickets are almost even right now. Do you see more shrines going on down over here? Nope.
Close combat.
Enemy soldiers approach our holdings. We have 100 points remaining.
Allied units ahead.
Carnifex has been upgraded with the Stringothorn Cannon, the ranged AoE weapon,
Our allies are here.
and also which spawns Spore Mines around the Carnifex. Removes the melee resistance aura. Here comes the free Spore Mines. They do get ripped apart, but here comes the Barbed Stringo Cannon. On to the last cannon, the Terminators are tying them up in melee. That's a good time for a Assault Barrage there by the Dreadnought. Tactical Marine Squad has seen quite a bit of abuse there. Does walk back into that barrage. Warrior Brutes or Venom Brutes still trying to gaze the Dreadnought. Now from time for melee. Got the purification grenade there from the Apothecary, the Blight Grenade. These guys are going to receive a lot of damage over time. Vanguard Barons do charge forward. These forces do withdraw from the webway. These forces need to fall back, do lose the Warlock that was supporting them. So they're going to sustain a lot less mobility. The Warlock does go down. The Elected Alpha House is still alive, but he lost all of his Venom Brutes. And the blue team has surrendered. With the Lictor Alpha losing most of the force, there was nothing much he can do. This is Adam Grade saying thank you for watching, and on to the next replay.